Okay, 6 right, and 5 notches down in darkness. As you can probably see here, it seems like totally dead material here, and for a lot of it, there's a few alive things here and there, here and there. But as we get towards late March, early April, that's basically what it looks like out in the bush, sort of thing. Got a bit of portulaca there, sort of growing. Seems to like to grow at this sort of time of the year. A few other things, but basically, yeah, doesn't look like much, but that certainly will burn, and it can actually just take the fire from one area to another, of course, sort of thing. Yeah. Anyway, let's go to normal focus, and yeah, wander over here if we can, and just have a look. And yeah, I'm just going to order this one. I think I'll just do spot colouring first on this one. And that's why I wanted the Anne Bonner book. You see, I wanted to compare, yeah, that's it. Let's take this off. I wanted to compare bloody shadows and stuff. I wanted to... yeah, that one's not doing too well at the moment coming back, but there's new leaves coming out on these ones. That's the one that John Nine said wasn't gonna survive, I don't think. But have you noticed this one though? This one compared to that one, basically we've got the same thing, but it's inverted, and we've got the things that are slant in the pot, as you can probably see them. Yeah, so that's not bad, that one there. But that's starting to look like wild stuff you see in the wild sort of thing. And the only difference is, you've got the sand on the top and you've got the newspaper cellulose down the bottom. They're growing erect. These are flat on the ground. Have you noticed that? I only just suddenly thought about it this morning. I thought, yeah, basically the identical stuff in the pot. It's just flipped upside down, and also the slant, of course. But bigger plant is in the centre. And the difference is, so this one's over here, so it's from centre up is what I think you want. I don't know if that's more like over here with this, so you might be able to work out from that what's going on. But if you notice the way it's all sort of glacial sort of thing in the top there, sort of thing. So we've obviously got breakdown products that have come up from the newspaper sayers and have got into the sand sort of thing. But you got to ask yourself the question: what is it actually doing? So. And go from there, because I'm just going to water this one and before it gets dried out. 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 20, 25, and that will cover it for until this afternoon or something. So yeah, but you see the difference in colour of the leaves. It's not really, it's sort of an olivey green now. That's what I'm trying to say. And I was going to show you that Anne Bonner book, but I don't think it's either in the lockup or my mum's got it because she's doing some crochet thing for supposed to be doing a cephalotus or something. Yeah, we're doing one of these stump work. The reason I wanted to talk about the Anne Bonner book, because it was like a birthday present when I first came across from WA to here, and because in WA a weekly shop was about $20 to $25 did your weekly shop. And today it's $200 to $300 does your weekly shop sort of thing. And then by the time we came across from WA, that had gone to about $40. Now this book cost $19.95 or something. So basically my mum spent half the weekly shop on this book as a birthday present. Probably because I was feeling really down coming from WA to here, because as I said, it's the usual same 8 to 9 suspects here, whereas in WA, as you say, you get 14 species. You go down the road, 3 or 4 the same, and everything is different, and it just keeps happening wherever you go, sort of thing. So yeah. But anyway, this one's been munched, nibbled, or something by that caterpillar thing that's gone from here to here. Hopefully, it won't happen again. Otherwise, we're going to have to nuke the bastard. Don't really like doing things like that, but yeah, this one I was still trying to drain this one. So you got, it is a learning curve, fellas. So Yeah, anyway, and yeah, the only one with colour really is that one in the centre there. So what's going on there? New leaves sort of coming out on there, sort of thing. Still this fly trap, nothing to write home about. So yeah. Anyway, let's go down and I suppose we want to look at some of these in there. This one's quite nice. Again, they're putting up these erect leaves, so ask yourself what. There's a nice one there, sort of thing. So it's not too bad. And it looked pretty dry this morning when I came out here to do this. So I think I'm going to have to water this before I go to bed at night, sort of thing. And yeah, do it that way. Get a different cycle going. And that one, look at that, it's dried out on top. I only watered that an hour ago. So at about 11:30, I think it was. Yeah, still doing other stuff down there, and I set up a few more because I think you're gonna really have to explain the zinc sands angle of actually sorted out of WA sort of thing. I've had a few winners, another winner over there and a semi-winner over there. So if you can see over here, that one's pinked and that one's getting there, sort of thing. So what was this one here? What was this? I can get it in the sun. It was Xinox and copper met. So your copper. So basically, what it's saying is the copper it sort of inhibits, but doesn't quite get in the way. That's copper oxide and Xinox. So this idea about copper being so deadly, I think it's deadly for a reason, and if you can solve the reason, it's not then deadly. So I think, as I said, they say that the sands over in WA is zinc rich around Perth. So I've set up these things here in various levels and things like that. So if they pink, well, I'm definitely going to have to investigate. Now, our idea is if they pink well and easily in the bottles, the plants do poorly in the pots. But we may have to adjust for that sort of thing. So we actually might want the organism in to be able to exist in the pot, but we've got to force it into the plant, sort of thing. That might be the idea, and that might be the problem. Is the idea, because they grow well here and the plants grow badly in the pots if they grow well in the thing here, and we're thinking we don't want the organism. That may be specious thinking. It might be the other way around. It's telling us we have to what makes it, and then we've got to control it, sort of thing. Do you understand what I mean? I'm making myself clear. I don't think I am. Anyway, I put these ones in, but they're not the best. As I said, they've been in those little pots. They've been in that little pot for about 2 weeks, and so they've gone downhill. And yeah, am I on spot culling? Better check. Nothing worse. Yes, I am on spot culling. Anyway, it's very silky smooth when I put the plants in last night. So it looks like sand, but we know how much egg and yolk material is actually in that. So and they're very green compared to these ones over here that have lost their sort of greenness on here. Got a new leaf there, so it actually has almost produced a whole new leaf. There's another one coming up there through the sand. These ones are sort of developed in there, so they are growing. And that one down there, you can see it has produced a leaf, and this one is producing a leaf which is fattening the lamina. So that's a good sign. And we've only learnt how to do that recently, how to fatten the lamina, sort of thing. This one over here with only 4 weeks. There's a more leaf, but so it gives me confidence something's going to happen with this one. But I just want to show you now, if I can, I'll go back to normal focus before the card runs out. I'm just going to water this. I want to put the shroud on because it's so intense. As I said, tomorrow it's going to be 41 and next day it's 41, but I reckon it's going to be 42 tomorrow and then 43. And if we have a fire that starts off today and ticks over, it could problems. We can have embers that sit overnight, embers that shift overnight, and so the people on the tour could be riding with bushfire ones. I'm sure they'll call it off. So I think, okay, I'm just going to water these, and you can see the difference. The flowage rate is quite good. It's probably too good for this one. That's why I have to keep watering probably every 2 hours today, which is not good. So yeah, and I haven't got screens, so I'm probably aiming the camera too high. Okay. So as you can probably see, if I go down to get my glasses off so I can see what I'm doing, it's so intense. So I'm 6 right and 5 down. Yeah, it will start to drip. Yeah. So the flowage is quite good. So yeah, and if I can see any drippage down here or something, yeah, drippage right there. Can you see that in there? The drippage rate. That's a good one. That's 2 counts, so it's every second, that one. Yeah, every second is a good count rate for flowage, for infiltration sort of thing. So still maintaining that rate. This one is seems to be a bit slower. Can we actually see a drip? We need to see a drip to get the comparison, basically. 1. Okay, it's slow. So this one's a little bit slower, which is good. It means you'll hold the water and moisture for longer. So oh dear, I've got to put my sunglasses on. There's so much reflection coming off the camera. Anyway, you can see how there's this sort of green that they have. That should lose that in about a week to 2 weeks, sort of thing. But we'll see. We'll see if we get a response from this one. If we get a response from this one, this is a sand culture sort of thing, so basically. And it's the international standard, of course. So, you know, all the scientists around the world have to take that on board. Otherwise, you can actually call them a hypocrite to their face. Internationally, anywhere on the planet, you can, and maybe even it ends up in a court of law. The judge will say, no, sir. They're your rules. Sand culture is the international standard. You're a hypocrite, sir. And I mean, if you're a scientist and you get called a hypocrite in a court of law, basically that's your career over, I would say. It'd be like to your wife, time to pack up, dear, pack up your things and go home. Time to choose another career, because if you're called a hypocrite in a court of law, basically he's saying you ain't a scientist. So, and it's, as I said, it's your own rules, you see. You got to. They only accept sand culture as the international standard to say that, well, you know somewhat of what you're talking about. So if we can get this to work, then we can develop from here in other directions, still in a sand culture sort of thing. So that's the important point. Getting them growing in a sand culture, and then improve the growth, and then we can, you know, for speed of growth, size of growth, coloration of growth, all those aspects. But it's just it's taken years to get into a sand culture, and you know, and all this work up on the organisms sort of thing, you know, and getting to this idea that, you know, it's the other way around. If they grow well in the bottles, if the organism grows well in the bottles, the plants do poorly in the pots. But that might not be the whole story. It may be a case of you want them to grow well, but you've got to control it sort of thing, so that the organism is forced into the plant. So the only way it can grow well is to go into the plant, and the plant says, you know, you come into my roots, you come into my leaf bases, and maybe work your way up to my traps and produce lovely red traps. I only allow you to do that if you do something for me, sort of thing. And of course, it's probably in concomitance with the you know, the generic australis, the generic mycorrhizae, the white to yellow mycorrhizae, the ensheathing mycorrhizae, a macroscopic mycorrhizae. Therefore, it's a fungus root. Therefore, by definition, it is a mycorrhiza. By the original, you know, the charter from the King of Prussia to I've forgotten his name now. He was chartered to go and learn how to grow truffles, and of course he totally failed at that. But he discovered, you know, the fungus root, or mycorrhizae sort of thing. And by definition, if it's macroscopic and you can see it with your eyes, and you've got a fungus ensheathing a root, you have a fungus root. By definition, you do have a. So if I put up footage or pictures of Drosophila capensis, Dioneer and cephalotes having ensheathment by this organism, by definition, CPs can become mycorrhizal. If not, I think they are actually. What's the word saying they are? You know, they have to be mycorrhizal. It's just that we haven't really got to a stage CP ecology development, we actually realised that they don't grow without a mycorrhizae, and we didn't know which one, and of course it was a generic one, so you weren't really looking out. You were looking for a specific one, and you probably thought the actual mycorrhizae was a background. Something in the background, and actually it was the one that was doing the work. You just didn't realise, oh, that's just a stray fungus in the background. No, that's the one that does them all. It's it's a generic mycorrhizae sort of thing. So we'll probably have a combination between this organism and the mycorrhizae, and that's where you get this sort of advancement in symbiotic growth relationship with the plant sort of thing. But I think it's controlled, so they probably have to have soils that they don't like, but the plant is the housing for the organism. The organism can get into the plant, and then it can enjoy life in the plant, but only if it works for the plant. So I think that's how it's going to work. Anyway, that's it, I think, for today. We'll see how we go over the next 2 weeks, I suppose. See if we get any. Will they survive? Will they grow? Will they get any coloration on them? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, over.